Hey everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to be working on a MacBook that needs to be fixed. This appears to be a model A1990 MacBook that we're going to be working on today. If you'd like to learn how we go about fixing a MacBook, then I highly suggest that you watch the video. If you don't want to learn how to fix a MacBook, then I suggest you unsubscribe and go to hell. So today we're going to get started by first opening the MacBook. Opening the MacBook is one of the most important things to do when troubleshooting what's wrong with it. And to do that, you're going to need a screwdriver, but you're also going to need a magnet so that you don't lose the screws. So over here, we have the MacBook. I'm going to open up the bottom of this MacBook. We're going to unplug the battery like we usually do, and then we're going to try and figure out what it is that is causing it to not turn on. Now, we're going to plug in a power adapter. And once we plug in the power adapter, I'm going to try to see how much power it is that this computer is taking when it is not plugged into a battery. So I kind of really explained that very poorly. So the computer is going to take a certain amount of power when it's not plugged into a battery, and that's going to kind of give me an idea of what's going on with the computer. So let's do that. So let's see if I actually even remember how to open a MacBook. I don't think I remember how to open a MacBook. What do you do if the MacBook is not fixable? You move on to the next MacBook. You say bye-bye this MacBook, and then you move on to the next one. Can you go over how Usbc negotiates power input? I had a fight with a guy who said you can't plug a higher charger into a PC because it will blow up. So the person who argued that is really, really dumb or ignorant, but most so let's go over how this works. So the first thing that I'm going to do over here is I'm going to open up a piece of software called Flex Board View, and we'll go over that. Why not? Go over board schematics. We'll find a schematic to an A1990 over here, and we'll open this schematic with. I have to set the software to. We have to set this so that it opens by default with Flex Board View. So one moment. I was going to open the board view later. Interesting that you're not able to actually find the application that you want when you right-click if you use Unity. I mean, this is ultimately my fault for being stupid enough to use Unity Desktop, but check this out. This is really weird. So I'll just do a display capture over here for a moment. So watch this. So I'm going to right-click, and then I'm going to go open with other applications. So I want to manually navigate to Paul Daniels' application. If I click View All Applications, it only shows me applications that are installed, not applications that have been downloaded to a folder. And if I click Find New Applications, it opens up this piece of shit, which allows me to, I don't know, find other installed app. But it doesn't actually allow me to manually navigate over to an application, which, like, why I'm using Unity is beyond me. XFCE is way superior. But yeah, this is the joys of Linux here. They just never end. The joys of fucking Linux. So I'll just, you know what I'll do? I'll fucking open Flex Board View manually, you cunt. That's what I'll do. Here, I'll open Flex Board View manually, you fucking piece of shit desktop interface. Don't use Unity. Unity sucks. Unity is a sack of shit. I don't know why I decided to use Unity. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. XFCE. You want XFCE. XFCE is far superior in every single conceivable way to this Unity rubbish. Just, so much better. Okay, so how does this negotiate USB? Okay, schematic and board view. Here we go. And it doesn't want to see Flex for some reason. Here we go. That's better. So, shut up, phone. Here for Kevin answer. Okay, so this over here is going to be the USB-C controller chip. And what this does is it... shut the fuck up. Hello?
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 Hi. Hey, I was wondering if I could get a status update on my computer.
Sure, give me 1 second. Fuck, I was hoping that this was a normal call, not a status update. You tricked me by not calling from the caller ID. I'm transferring you to Kevin. Yes, you can. Yeah, I'm going to transfer you over to Kevin. You tricked me. You didn't show up in the caller ID. You're supposed to... I only pick up when it's not a status call. I pick up when it's not a status update. I pick up when it's... what's the word I'm looking for? I pick up the phone when it's, you know, like a new customer. But I'm not looking up your status in the middle of a fucking stream. So, Kevin, I transferred it to Kevin. He'll get that. Kevin's a cool guy. So, over here, you have U3200. U3200 is going to be the USB-C port controller. And what this does is it is going to speak to the charger on a data line over here, USB-C, XB, CC1, and CC2. And what this does is it then goes over to the charge port. So the charger has to speak to a controller before it actually does anything. So if you put a there's no such thing as like a 5 volt versus a 20 volt versus a 9 volt USB-C charger. There's no such thing. It's USB-C can be any one of those things, and it is the job of the device to tell the USB-C charger what it is, and then for the USB-C charger to then put out the right amount of power. You are not going to kill a device by using a, quote, too powerful charger. This is separate entire. Now, this is when it comes to voltage. When it comes to amperage, even if you have, let's say, a 20 volt charger, and you have a device that is a 20 volt device, if you have a charger that can put out 8 amps and the device only needs 2 amps, the device is only going to grab as much as is necessary. You're not going to hurt the device by like you're not going to hurt the device in any way by using a charger that is more powerful. So let's say I have the ability to bench press 275 pounds. If I go over to a smaller bar, let's say I go over to an 80-pound bar and I go to bench press it, I'm not going to, quote, hurt the bar because I'm bench pressing 85 pounds, even if I'm capable of bench pressing 275. I'm not going to hurt the bar. That's retarded. What's going to happen is I'm just going to lift it, and it's going to be less of a load on me than it otherwise would have been, but I'm more than capable of lifting an 85-pound bar if I'm capable of lifting a 275-pound bar. The idea that you can kill a device if you use a charger that is not totally different voltage. So for instance, I have an e-bike battery charger that's 58.8 volts. If I plug that into a MacBook, it will die. But it's going to be really fucking difficult to plug a 58.8 volt charger into a MacBook, although admittedly it might be fun to do on camera. It's not something, so if somebody's telling you you're going to kill the device because you're using a charger that's not made for it, they're woefully misinformed, and I would avoid listening to them altogether. Okay, let's see. Can you share the diagram? No, I can't. No, I can't. That's questionable legally. Yeah, XFC for the win. XFC is way better. XFC is better than Unity in every conceivable way. I'm a big fanboy of XFC. I love XFC. I don't know what possessed me to try Unity over here. I did, and never again. Okay. So we're just about done opening this up. We're going to open this up. Hopefully that answers your question, John. I'd like to see an e-bike charger plugged into an 820000165, please. Why? That's such a nice little board. That's an air board. They're lovely. That's... Okay, so the first thing that we see in this computer when you open it up is that it is absolutely filled to the brim with dust, which is going to have to get blown out in order for me to feel comfortable giving this back to the customer. So first thing we do is we are going to unplug the battery. Let's just unplug the battery. Oh, look, somebody already unplugged the battery cable. Look at that. I didn't even have to unplug it. Oh, thank you. You made my job easier for me. Okay, so somebody opened this before. And whoever opened it has no idea what the fuck they're doing because they unplugged the fucking cable without putting it back in. Shame on you. Unless there was a good reason for that. If this was liquid damage, then there is a good reason for that. Which, by the way, I have reason to believe that it is. Can anybody show me? Can anybody tell me where it is? Anybody over here that's paying attention can show me where the liquid damage is? All right. So we're going to plug in our charger. And as you can see, the charger is stuck at 5 volts, 10 milliamps. That is nothing. So it's not actually going to be doing anything. Now, since I do see some minor liquid damage, one thing I'm going to be curious about is if when I unplug everything that's plugged into it, do I get a different response from the charger? Now, some of the liquid damage that I see, I'm not sure if you guys can see it. It's going to be over here. All right, you see that? It's on the dust. It's actually on top of the dust. I got a little bit too much HDR here. We got to turn down the HDR at some point because that's crazy. That's way too much HDR. Nobody needs that. You guys are going to get too fucking spoiled if I pump up the HDR. I don't want to get you guys spoiled on HDR. But anyway, as you can see over here, that is green dust. And that green dust tells me that there is water, and there may be water around that connector. All right, it's actually very clean underneath there. So here is a big problem with dust, is that it actually winds up absorbing the liquid damage, and it makes your machine more likely to get liquid damage rather than the liquid just kind of flowing away. That's not good. That's no good at all. Unplug, you motherflower. Okay. You want to be an asshole, fine. I'll take you out the hard way. That'll clip over there as being an asshole. Anel is in the chat. Everybody say hello to Anel. Nothing was underneath that connector. It's fine. I don't check red dots because I don't give a shit about them. I don't care about the liquid damage indicators inside the machine. I don't care if a piece of paper turned colors. I care if there's actual damage. Anel is not in Twitch chat. He is in the Chad YouTube chat, not the Incel Twitch chat. How are you feeling, Anel? You can't say incel on Twitch, you'll get banned. Twitch doesn't pay me, so I don't give a fuck if I get... I really don't care about it as a platform. Twitch is a shitty platform. So the thing with Twitch is that you're not allowed to dual stream to another platform unless you sign in. You can't, if you want to get paid by Twitch, you have to sign an exclusivity agreement with them, which says you'll only stream to Twitch and not to another platform simultaneously. The problem with that agreement is that they don't tell you how much money they're going to pay you. You get to figure that out after you sign up. So imagine if I walked up to you. Just imagine this for a moment. Let's just say I walked up to you. Let's say you make $15 an hour, right? And I said, I will pay you an amount of money that is written on this piece of paper. But this wasn't plugged in, so this is bad. I will pay you an amount of money that's written on this piece of paper. But in order to figure out what's written on this piece of paper, you need to quit your current job, and you need to then sign an agreement that does not allow you to go back to your current job. Would you sign that agreement? Because maybe the paper says $50 an hour on it. Or maybe the paper says nothing on it. Maybe the paper has like a picture of Anel laughing, and there was no job at all. So it's not about subs. It's about the ad revenue that you get. Because again, you don't know how many people are going to be willing to sub to you until you actually are in the program, and you don't know what the ad revenue is going to be until you actually sign up for the program. So you don't really know how much money you're going to make until after you sign up. And if you realize that it's a bad deal, then you can't go back. And, you know, like, there's a lot that's wrong with YouTube. It's funny to me that a guy that dislikes Apple is the guy who's repairing their products. It's funny to me that somebody that dislikes cancer decides to become an oncologist. It's funny to me that somebody that doesn't like child abuse becomes a child abuse counselor. That's just some of the most retarded logic I've heard in a really long time. Very, very, very bad logic. And by the way, that bad logic is coming from Twitch chat, not YouTube chat, so I rest my case. YouTube is the superior chat. Also the superior platform. Lewis, has any customer given you gaming laptops to fix? Yes, and I fucking hate it. We got one the other day, and it's pointless because I can't find a donor board to it. I can only find new boards to it. The chip that is burned, I can't find it anywhere, and the only donor board I can get is $900. So yeah, I despise having to work on gaming laptops because I can't get anything. Like, at least with this, I have already worked out my supply chain so that I have chips and parts, and I'll help Kevin with the phone. How can I help you?
Hello?
Hello?
Is this Western Repair Group?
Yes.
Awesome. My brother has an iPhone 7 Plus that earlier this year had the audio IC repaired out in LA, but after about maybe 6 months or so it broke again. Do you guys do that?
It's going to keep breaking, that's the thing. So if he needs the data off of the phone, then maybe it's worth it. But if he doesn't need the data off of the phone, I would just sell it as broken, buy a used iPhone 8, and call it a day. Because that phone's motherboard is defective by design. Also, another thing that's going to happen to him is eventually the exact same problem that causes it to not have audio is also going to cause it to not have service. So then he'll get to a point where he's not able to make phone calls right after we do the audio IC repair.
Wow.
So that phone is a money pit. So, I mean, like, it's fixable. It's just, A, the amount of money we're going to charge you at this point is probably going to be more than the phone is worth because that phone's a few years old. And B, it's going to keep happening to you and interesting in other ways. So it's kind of a money pit, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Thank you for the heads up because, yeah, I was sort of wondering if this was going to be a recurring thing, but that sounds like it gets worse. Just for reference, since I don't know if you can necessarily grab something new right this minute, what would it cost if you guys did it?
Like $150.
Okay. I'm going to talk to him.
You can tell when me quoting $150 that I have no desire to do audio IC.
You were saying like an iPhone 8?
Yeah, the iPhone 8 doesn't have any of these issues, and it's the next generation, and you can find them used pretty affordably. So that money would be better put into a used iPhone one generation up than into this one, which will just fail again.
Totally. Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No worries. You have a good day. I really do not want to do an audio IC. I fucking hate audio IC. Okay. Okay. So, let's see if we get any different result with everything unplugged. 5 volts and 10 milliamps. So we're pretty much stuck at 5 volts, 10 milliamps. Now, what do you all see? What do you see? Do you see anything? Season's greetings. Anyway, you can check the status of my repair. Oh, fuck off. I'm streaming, you fuck. Call Kevin, you cunt. Fuck's sake. I shouldn't have let people know I have access to this fucking system. Let's see. Your ticket is... Let's see. 45376.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Your ticket is in Dan's status, and Dan tested positive for COVID. So, bada bing, bada boom. Enjoy. There you go. There's your... Let's see. Yeah, your ticket is in Dan's status, and Dan tested positive for COVID. So, yeah, about that. No status for you. No status for you. Your tech... No, I'm not even kidding. Like, that's the reason I'm fixing boards right now. Is because Chris, Dan, and NNL are all home after having fucking tested positive for COVID. So, no status for you. You literally get you get nothing. Yeah, okay. So what do we see over here? If you want the official version of that, like delivered with niceties and all that, then call the store and Kevin will, like do the professional version of what I just said. But yeah, I'm picking things out of his status, and I'm going over them now. So this is where your charging chip is. Your CD32. I can't tell if that's a 15 or a 17 because of the shitty camera angle. They could be working from home. No, that's not how this works. I'm not fucking delivering them their like laptops out of their queue, and then when it needs somebody else to do the rest of it, then that has somebody. Like I'm gonna need a full-time driver to do that, and setting up like no, we're not doing that. Fuck that. Fuck that. So, as you can see, this is our standard charging IC, the CD3215 or 17. I honestly don't even remember because I'm out of practice on here. And you have green shit over here, green stuff over there. So liquid got over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a little bit of a flux and a reflow and go from there. So we're going to get, now before I do flux and a reflow, I am going to unplug, to be nice, we're going to unplug this over here. We're going to because I don't want, with my luck, I'm going to wind up melting the charge port off of the board. So we just take that, put this over here. Oh, okay. And a little bit, we're going to use a little bit of flux. Small amount. 1 pawl. Okay, you ready? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. That's right. That's how we do repairs when the boss is in. You're suggesting having to work from home while you're sick? Calm down, that's not how Rossman does business. Au contraire. I am a absolute and utter slave driver, and I would have no problem forcing everybody here to work from their fucking deathbed if necessary. I just don't feel like driving people their stuff. I just don't feel like being a chauffeur. Don't give me credit for things that are not true. Hey, shit you not. Like, literally 2 days after Steve had a heart attack from the vaccine, he was working again. Not even because I told him to. I didn't tell him to. It's just kind of a... I think I probably set that culture at the company, and it's probably my fault partially for setting that as a culture, but... You know, Steve got his second Pfizer shot. He had a heart attack hours later. He was literally back at the fucking store within like 2 days. You know, fucking with his PC 3000. I think that I've fostered a workaholic culture. Yeah, but there's going to be a lot of people calling into bitch over the next week or two because a bunch of people didn't show up. I think we actually closed the store Christmas Eve because so many people wound up with positive with COVID. So we usually don't close on Christmas Eve. A bunch of people didn't show up today. So I'm expecting the pissed off calls to start coming in pretty soon. So we're going to be fixing some boards. At the end of the day, it doesn't, like, nobody gives a fuck. Like, everybody here could literally have cancer and be dying. It's like, where's my fucking computer, you know? Like, at the end of the day, nobody gives a fuck about my problems or their problems or any of that shit. They want their stuff back. So give me a moment. I'm going to get myself a donor board because this board looks like shit and I don't want to just file off those components. 820-01814. One moment. Gonna put my little muzzle on. My little mask. Okay. Where is my 01814? Yeah. Where are you? Here's 01814. Oh, 01's. Is this? Damn it. All the chips that I need are. I'd like better donor selection, please. A1990, but all these have flux or liquid damage in the very section that I need. I know, I don't like boards with the CPU. Remember when I used to give you boards with the CPU and you'd say, I don't like this, I don't trust this? Somebody actually left a super chat asking for status on their repair, and I said, your tech has COVID, come back next year. I feel bad, but I'm going to get to it. Yeah, I'm going to try this one first. Luckily, it's just... I thought A1990 was the year where they started using CD17s. This is it's still a 15. Yeah, it's stuck at 5 volts. This is going to be easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. But how... Yeah, I got to start dumping Anel, Chris, and Dan stuff all into your status and my status.
You might as well put it all in mine, and then as people come back, they just pull from my status.
Yeah.
And I'll just work from the oldest to the newest. Well, don't touch the Dan first, because I think those are the next ones I'm doing.
Well, Dan has one that's a rush. That's the guy that was asking. If you could grab the rush out of his status, and that would be great. Whatever guy just left a super chat in my chat, if you, he also pay. I feel bad for him. Tell him come back next year. Yeah, if you could grab that one. All right. Steve is that type of person, Aaron. Okay, so we're gonna make over this section of the board. And of course, one of the donors I grabbed doesn't even have this fucking chip on it. You piece of... Anyway. We're gonna do a little bit of a makeover over here, alright? You guys ready? A little bit of a makeover. Ooh! That's nasty. Nasty, nasty, nasty. I think it's different for a hospital, John Ellis, because at a hospital, obviously, you know, you're dealing with... Your entire profession is dealing with people that are immunocompromised. Like, you're always going to be around sick people. So I think it's a bit... Yeah, get that resistor out of there. All right. Part of the rub there, and I'm probably oversimplifying this, is I'm not rubbing very hard when I'm going over the like the board solder mask, but I rub hard when I know that my tip is touching the solder pad. That's a subtlety that's not going to show up very well in a video. Also, I don't care if these capacitors and resistors are not soldered on perfectly, because you're going to see that the surface tension is going to flow it all into place really nicely at the end. I don't want to use too much heat. There's really no need to use a large amount of unnecessary heat on the board. So I just want, when I'm going to kind of get it all into place at the end. So I'd rather use one swab of heat to get everything into place rather than, numerous. So see, like, none of those components are really in place. They're all horribly jagged, right? That's disgusting. How could you do that to a customer's MacBook? Why would you ever give something back to somebody like that? You piece of crap, you schmuck, you unprofessional. Oh, see, it all literally just flows in a place and then looks literally like it came from a fucking factory. Bada bing, bada boom. Next up, corroded shit over here. You go. You go. They don't care. Hello there. They don't care. They do not care. It's not their business. It's not their life. Their lives do not revolve around me, as they shouldn't. Right. That's irrelevant, Remdog Cap. It's irrelevant to my personal life. I don't pay my employees' bills. They pay their own bills. I simply facilitate an environment that allows them to do work that then allows them to make money. Which makes me an evil capitalist bastard. Okay. Okay. Okay, at this point, I think it would safe to say that I can plug this in and that I'll get 20 volts without even replacing the CD3215 because the liquid barely got into the CD3215. But there's one way to find out, right? And the way that you're going to find that out is by plugging it in. Also, actually, oh ho ho! I found something. Oh man, Paul's gonna be so mad if he sees this because I always get boards like this. I always get boards, but this is the issue. Hopefully, Paul's not watching the stream right now. If he is, he's gonna be fucking pissed. Look at that. You see that? I bet that's a PP3v3 cap right there. I bet that's a PP3v3 cap right there, and I bet that was probably the problem all along. Yeah, let me take a look with Flex board view. Yeah, Paul's gonna be fucking pissed. Okay, what is this? What is this? What do we have here? So if I take a look on the schematic and board view, you are... Oh, no. Okay, no. PP bus, G3 hot, SSD. Okay, so that's going to be PP bus going to an SSD buck converter. Rawr. So that's going to be 12.6 or 13 volts going to this chip, which then turns that into 2.5 volts for the NAND. Yeah. Gross. All right. Well, no big deal. You always just take a look over the board, and you don't let that back in. Do I still have hot tweezers on my desk? Let's see. I actually do use hot tweezers from time to time. I don't hate them. I think I used to have them on my desk, and they are gone. Interesting. Well, if somebody else knows how to make use of my tweezers, I guess. I feel like I'm making that meme of the... Oh, never mind. It's over here. It's under a donor board. So, what is... Paul S. is not related to Paul Daniels, no. Paul S.'s software has never been buggy. Paul S.'s software has never been buggy. It just works right out of the box. Everything Paul S. has ever coded for me. Okay, so first things first is it's going to be really disgusting to touch that area. I don't want to touch that area and like have a bunch of burning dust. Burning dust smells really bad. So... Now I remember why I like hot air more than hot tweezers. Bruh. Hello. I could literally pick the board up by this. Jesus Christ. Yeah, for those of you who wonder why I often default to hot air instead of the tweezers, that's why. Now I remember. It's such a pain in the ass. And of course that cap is going to be missing from every fucking donor board. Of course it's missing from every donor board. Why wouldn't it be missing from every donor board? Alright, let's grab another one. We'll grab a cap that's just like it. And of course the cap that's just like it is missing from my other donor board. Okay, let's grab one that's just like the one that's just like that one. And that one is also missing from my donor. That's actually where the hole is. You've got to be shitting me. They actually put the hole through the board, part of the board that has the cap that I need as a donor. You... Alright. Let's. Who put the hole through the part of the board that has my cap?
Some guy in China.
No, the hole is right through the SSD cap that I need. Who would do such a thing? It's probably you, wasn't it?
Probably.
Of course, you're missing it. You're missing it. I can tell that Anel is laughing right now. I bet he's laughing. I bet he's laughing it up. That. A blow by blow?
This is the guy that inquired in the super chat.
Huh. How bad is it?
Pretty bad.
Oh. What's wrong?
Everything on the bottom of the board corroded.
Oh. You want me to tell him that you got COVID? It's not too late. I don't think he heard you.
All the texts are gone.
Every one of these is missing all four. Because I've strategized and I have other caps that I could take. Also, what is this? Why is this a donor?
Because that's all we got.
Why is this a donor? This looks like this looks like it went through a sewer. Okay, here we go. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. Yes! You piece of shit. Where's my normal tweezers? Fuck. Get over here. That's so poorly flown in a place, it's disgusting. We can do better. Just enough. Okay. Now we got to see if this is in good shape to turn on. Okay, is this in good shape? Let's see. One way to find out, right? We do this. We turn the board around. We plug it in. 5 volts, 4 milliamps, 200 milliamps, 200 milliamps, 250 milliamps, and nope, it's stuck. Okay, so we got some work to do. We're still stuck. We may need a CD3215. So let's just go over to the board view for a moment. We're going to take a look how this goes together. So this still gets V in from 3v3 pp3v3 underscore g3 hot underscore rtxx. Okay. No dice. Okay, so 3.3 volts is not going into the chip, so I can't blame the chip. What I can blame is whatever's creating it. So let's follow that back. PP3v3 underscore G3 hot underscore RTC underscore X. All right, next. Where are you coming from? Dynamo hum. Where's that dynamo coming from? Because I haven't heard from the dynamo hum. Dynamo, because I haven't heard anything from the dynamo from the dynamo hum. I got a spot that gets me hot. You ain't been to it. Da-da-da. Got a spot that gets me hot. And you ain't been to it. Da-da-da. Cause you gotta get into it to get out of it. And you gotta get out of it to get yourself into it. Are you still a 0 ohm resistor? Yes, you are. Are you shorted to ground? 70 ohm? No. No. None of this. No! You're a low voltage line! No! No! You be shorted with 0 ohm short, not this bullshit. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? How can I help you? Ah, Kevin beat me to it. No, fuck this bullshit short. Okay, let's see. Is this 3.3 volt regulator actually being told to turn on? Let's see. R6968 will give us an answer to that question. So I'm going to plug it in. I unscrewed this like a dumbass because I didn't want it to fall off while I was heating the CD3215 on the other side of the board. Now it's going to flap around and drive me nuts. You'll see. Okay. Cause if I never get out of it, I'll never get into it. And I gotta get out of it to get myself into it. R6968 is going to be the enable for PP3v3 underscore RTC. And that's over here. Top resistor. What the fuck? Point 4. That's bull. Bruh. Okay, so PP3v3 underscore G3 hot is not being enabled. So this is not going to create PP3v3 underscore G3 hot because it's not even getting its enable. And its enable comes from the U7000, which is probably an ISL 9240. Boo. Let's see. Yeah, it comes from ISL 9240. So this is the point where I find the ISL 9240. Give it a hot reflow. Give it a hot yoga reflow. Also, double check my work over here. How can we help you? Hello? Hello?
Hey, hi. This is Rehan. I hear you guys repair Macbooks and such. And I wanted to tell you about my problem so you could quite possibly give me a quote.
Sure.
Yeah. So here's the thing. As you do, I spilled water on my MacBook, and it came back like it powered on, except it won't work without an adapter. And so the battery keeps depleting with each passing every single time I turn it on, basically. You know what I mean?
So that's either a bad battery or a motherboard issue where it's not recognizing a working battery. You can bring it in for a free estimate and we can try and figure out which one it is, but I don't have a way to tell you which it is over the phone.
So the battery is dead because the laptop says that the battery is not charging and it needs to be replaced. Like I know this because the battery was in poor condition to begin with.
Okay, well, you're welcome to bring it in.
So, but like, how much do you generally charge? Say if I had to replace the logic board, get a new one.
Well, what year and model do you have?
It is. Hold on. It's 2018 13-inch.
Usually $199 for the battery or $425 to fix the motherboard, depending on what it is.
Okay. And if I were to bring it in, how long do you think it would take to, say you had to replace both?
We wouldn't be replacing the motherboard, we'd be fixing your existing one. That's the price to fix the board that you have. How long it takes, that right now, probably longer than usual. I can't tell you just because half of the store is out with Omicron, so I can't give you a time frame. So it's usually 1 or 2 days for the battery, or a few hours. It's usually a few hours to a day or two for the battery, and for the motherboard, 2 to 5 business days. That's what it used to be, but I can't tell you what it would be at this moment.
Okay. Alright. Okay, thank you. I'll get that.
All right, bye-bye. Thanks. Okay, so everything there kind of adds up. Now I'm getting 250 milliamps again. Interesting. But what do you mean spiritual? What the? I was talking like an asshole that wanted to get off the phone. Okay, so now the 3.3 volt rail is there, whereas it wasn't there before. This makes no fucking sense whatsoever, but whatever, I'll run with it. Now, the next thing that I'm gonna take a guess on is that CD3215 that was in the liquid damage section of the board is the CD3215 that I need to replace. I think that's a safe bet. That's a safe bet. So first thing I want to do is I want to see what the behavior is of each CD3215 area. So this one, 0.00 amps, no boot looping. 0.00 amps, no boot looping. Next. Next. Okay, this is 200 milliamps, 250 milliamps, different behavior. No boot looping. Typically, the one that has different behavior than the others is the one that has a problem. On this side. Okay. 250 milliamps, no boot looping. Hello.
Hello.
What can we do for you?
Hi. You guys repair iPhones that are stuck in a boot loop or do data recovery on a phone that's stuck in a boot loop?
We do. How did yours get there? Was it a drop? Was it water? Or did it say, like, was your space almost full and then you went to update and then it stopped working?
Actually, it was none of those. It was completely
Ooh,
out
a
of
new
the
one.
blue. And yeah, and actually, I had an older. This was like almost a brand new iPhone. It was either the 11 Pro Max or the 12 Pro Max. I can't remember, but it was only like maybe 4 months old. And I had an old phone do this, but I had my stuff backed up. On this phone, I have about 5 months of pictures that were not backed up. So that's my problem. But literally, it was totally out of the blue. Like, it was working 100% fine, no drops, no nothing, and it just went black and then booted back up into just the Apple screen. And I have tried literally everything to get it off of there without destroying the data, and nothing has worked.
Well, here usually it's $450 to $650 to get the data off of those ones. The 11, anything over the 10 or the 10 and over is more of a pain in the ass because the board itself is a multi-layer board that's soldered together. So just to even do basic troubleshooting, there's a really pain in the ass process that you have to go through. We usually just take a deposit based on how difficult that job's going to be when we get it, and then you would only pay for the repair if we are able to get your stuff. If we cannot get your stuff, then we refund you the deposit besides return shipping.
Awesome. That's fine. I've tried everything. I'm actually in Kansas, and we met a guy randomly who pointed us to your Facebook or YouTube page, and then I got to your website and saw it that way. So.
Oh, very cool.
Anyway, so do I just follow the instructions online to get my phone sent in?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Is it a total pain in the ass, problem? I may never get it back?
There is a chance of that being the case. Yeah, I mean, not all of them are recoverable, but.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I just look online, get my phone sent in, and just do the deposit, and you guys take it from there?
Yes.
Okay, we'll do that then. That's all I needed. So I'll look online, and we'll get it sent in. So.
Okay. Wish us luck.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
All right. You have a good day.
Bye.
She's so sad. I feel bad for her. Where is CD3215's? What slot? I can't believe I forgot off the top of my head which slot it is. And because I thought it was this, but that doesn't look like a CD3215. I can't believe I've actually forgotten the slot number. Our inventory is so off. Look at how old this shit is. Oh my god. Look at this.
There you go.
Look at this.
So,
He's not coming back until the first two.
ZA2.
Okay, ZA2. I gotta ask Hi to come in and help.
Second one.
Yeah, I only need one. And then I write it down. 1 ZA2. I have to find Hi. ZA2. Hi.
I told them to come in. I guess I'll start tomorrow. It was too late today.
We could use a Hi.
Yeah. Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I'm pretty. That stack is all for him. How can I help you?
Hi, this is... Huh?
Hello.
Hi, this is Carly. I just got an email from you guys on an update on the card recovery.
Ah, yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. This is going to be a painful conversation. I was listening to what you were saying.
I to call you guys about
I forwarded that one to Kevin. My patience only lasts so far with stupid shit like that. That's going to be a fucking 30-minute phone call. I could just tell from the beginning of that phone call that was going to be a 30-minute phone call. She's expecting an update. Bro, she didn't even tell me your fucking name. So she didn't call from the number that's associated with her ticket. She didn't tell me your ticket number. She didn't tell me your name. It's like, what the fuck do you want from me? Yo, you got to give me more shit than that. Yo, get the... That's all, Kevin. Hello, Sonny. You got me a vacuum? Yeah. Oh, thank you. No worries. Okay. Everybody who's talking about backups, I guarantee, has lost something at some point in their life and is just pretending that they're holier than thou at this moment. That's what drives me nuts about people. It's like the idea that you just the way they snivel and look down on somebody that made one mistake at one point in their life, it just makes me sick. That's strange, Duck Vision. Very strange. So what I was doing there while I was on the previous phone call is I was plugging in the charger to every port, and only one port had weird behavior, and it was the port that's associated with this chip. So one of these is not like the other. Nelson, I am at work, you fuck. Get the fuck out of my chat, you cunt. There's no Shane in today, there's no Hi in today, there's no Steve in today, there's no Dan in today, there's no Chris in today, there's no Anel in today. So yes, I will do double duty. The sad part is I'm not even going to be here tomorrow because I have to drive to settle that other fucking... Anyway. Pain in the... Like, I back up my stuff, but I don't back up my shit every single fucking day. You know, that like I mean, I guess you could set something up where it automatically connects to a Samba share the moment you connect to Wi-Fi and rsyncs your stuff and blah-de-blah-de-blah, but, like, not everybody does that shit. I mean, my martial arts instructor, if he wanted to, could laugh at you because you didn't look while you were in a parking lot and somebody snuck up on you and smacked you in the back of the head or some shit. But it's like the nerd version of that, and it's just so disgusting to me when I see people do that. Like, you know, snubbing their noses at people because they made a mistake at some point in their life. Like, fuck you. Omicron is mild as a cold. It's, for the most part, Omicron seems to be, like Steve got it, he said he had a cough and it felt like a cold. Why would I test without a chip plug on the board? It makes no sense. I know exactly what I'm going to get if I try to plug this board in without the charging chip that controls the charger plugged into it? Nothing. I can't read whatever showed up on the screen because I'm soldering a chip right now. And I know it's going to fly away from me if I use my peripheral vision or read the screen. Okay, let's see if this works. Twitch chat once again proving it doesn't know how to pronounce shit. Alright, motherfucker. Let's do this. SOLDER, you cunt. Alright, watch this. How about this? We're going to go to dictionary.com and we're going to do something for you. You ready, you fuck? You ready? Are you ready? I bet you're not, but we're going to do it to you anyway. Solder. SOD-ER. You hear that, fuck? You hear that, you fuck? Exactly. All right. Back to the regularly scheduled program. Longtime viewer, can you fix my MacBook for free? Send it to Queensland, Australia. I know exactly where you can get a free MacBook repair. What you need to do, and this is guaranteed to work, or your money back, is you're going to send the computer over to Queensland, Australia. So send a text to 0450-455-223. That's 0450-455-223. Is he in channel? I don't know what that means. Okay. So it looks like we have 20 volts. 20 volts. 100 milliamps. Okay, now we got 20 volts, 1 amp. You can't see that on screen because I'm a shitty YouTuber. There we go. And as you can see, this bitch is turning on. Bada bing, bada boom. So it had a bad CD3215, some liquid damage, and some minor shit near the SSD, and a cap for supplying 12 volts over to the SSD buck converter. I'm going to clean off the desk a little bit. We're going to plug this in. We're going to see what shows up on the screen. And it'll probably work just fine. And then we're going to give it to one of the reassembly people here to reassemble. And ultrasonic and all that stuff. Yes, we have assembly people. So the board repair people put their brains into fixing boards, and the people that don't have brains for fixing boards put their time into reassembling shit. That's the way it works. And usually the people who do reassembly, at some point, they may get bored enough that they want to learn board repair because doing the same shit over and over again makes you want to jump off a bridge. And if that happens, then they are welcome to come over to the dark side and learn board repair. Or if they don't want to learn anything new and they want to keep doing the same shit over and over again for the rest of their lives, they can just keep doing boring-ass reassembly. But yeah, it's a waste of time for the people who are good at board repair to be reassembling computers when they could be using their brain to fix another board, because you don't need a brain to assemble a computer. You do need a brain, like, you know, assembling a computer is something a brain-dead person can do, but you do need a brain to fix a board. So you want to maximize the efficiency of brain by not having brain power utilized in areas where brains are not needed. And assembling a computer does not require a brain, so there's that. Okay, so that little charge port is always going to fly off. I should just admit it. And we're going to plug you in over here. Show what's on the screen over there. Now, if the reassembly people are very busy with other things, then the board people will have to do their own reassembly. And there will usually be protests when that occurs. But it is what it is. As you can see, we have an Apple logo. This is turning on. It boots. I'm a happy boy. I'm a happy camper. So this is going to have to get cleaned up because, as I said, it's dusty as hell. So we're going to blow out the fans. The board is going to get ultrasonically cleaned to remove not just any liquid damage, but any sort of dust that's then going to likely wind up absorbing some sort of liquid damage. And at that point, it is going to be fully reassembled, fully tested by somebody else. And they will have a happy working computer. So that is it for today. And as always, I hope that you learned something. With that, we will be moving on to the next MacBook. Okay, let me label this recording. Captures. Okay. I'm going to leave a note for this ticket. What's your number? 44430. Did they actually? Let's see. That doesn't need brains, that needs eyesight, Outseeker. But some people don't have either. Get a canned response in here. One moment. Clean, reassemble, test. Clean, reassemble, test. CRT. Where'd he go? I know. Everybody's dead.
What? What am I doing with this?
Clean, reassemble, test?
Is this ooze on there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we give Sonny a workspace?
You can have that workspace right there. It has multiple drawers.
How much do you trust Sonny to read?
No, I used to do this for a living.
This desk is so much of a mess, but nobody works here. There's less usable space on this desk than mine.
I used to do this for a living.
I trust you, Sonny.
Refurbishing new batteries.
Clean, yeah, this needs ultrasonic and all that, and then
Ultrasonic?
yeah. What? Get the. Give me the shit, you fucking half-ass cunt. What's wrong with his board?
I think it's in DFU, but I don't know.
I hate this DFU thing. It's aggravating.
I got 5 volts, 12 pin.
I got a successful fix. Just a CD3215. The ISL 9240 wasn't putting out the signal for to make 3 volts, so I just heated it for 30 seconds. And
Can I have one of them? Or you want to figure out a DFU?
there was a bunch of little caps that were all shitty in a row. Which one is this? 1932 or 2179?
2179.
Have you looked at the wiki? Because Tim updated a bunch of pages.
I have not.
I'm curious if anybody is smarter than me has put stuff on the wiki that would teach me shit. Honestly, my hope at this point is that I eventually attract somebody who's smarter than me to answer all my questions for a change. Instead of it just...
Radio Shack, they're coming back. You got questions, they got answers.
He's coming back as an NFT.
Are you serious?
The guy who bought it is selling Radio Shack NFT. What happened to, what's his face? Duke.
I don't know. I haven't heard from Duke in a long time. I miss Duke.
I have to take the heating off?
His personality was something else. Yeah. Oh, God. How's your store, Sonny? Everybody, like...
I don't know. I haven't.
Did Paul tell you?
What?
Someone brought in one of the batteries for a recall.
Huh?
There's a battery.
But it also... yeah, the final frontier with me for Linux was getting live audio plugins to work, and I figured it out. They're not as good, of course, because it's Linux, but...
There's an operating called Unix. You should try that out. Pretty good.
And I can encrypt everything.
Unix also.
No DFU?
No DFU. So I have more issues than that.
Is that the M1?
No.
No turn on?
Do they make the
Yeah,
M1?
that means CPUs, or T2's not even turning on.
And the corrosion was all along the bottom?
Yep.
You...
And 3v3, 5v, a lot on CPU.
Kabir is out too?
They're all gone. They got taken by the Kron.
It did take fall.
This is in Florida. You think just because people are asymptomatic and young and got vaccinated that they're going to actually come to work if they have a cold? What are you, fucking crazy? If it saves even one life, Sonny. If it saves even if it saves even one MacBook. Who goes out there and says if it saves even one MacBook, though? Nobody thinks of the MacBooks. MacBooks are lives, too.
Crash the Apple chip.
Why is Paul S. at work, too? Because he didn't get the plague. He's the last one left.
Lone survivor.
Oh shit. My bad.
Is the ultrasonic even on? Yeah, it is.
How long?
Like a minute each side. Wait, what about those shields on the A1990? Do you have to take those off?
For what?
The black shields before he puts it in? Sonny, wait! Black
Depends
shields.
on which ones they are.
Hey, you may have to take a black shield off of the...
Paper ones, they can stay on.
What do you mean? They don't come off? What black shield?
No, these are the paper ones. They're good.
Huh.
Yeah, what do you think I
You
must
just have to make sure you shake it out real good when you're done.
You didn't miss anything?
No, I don't think so.
It's just good old-fashioned dead board.
What are the chances that the CPU is exploded on me?
Pedro says, I thought Paul S. was moonlighting at Tesla.
God no.
Would you ever consider working at Rich Rebuilds' electrified garage? Like if
Probably at his, maybe.
Like if this place went out of business, would you go to... I would put in a good word for you. Because he's opening them in several other states now. He wants to turn the electrified garage concept into something all around the country.
Electric bike garage.
But you just wouldn't work for Tesla.
No, I wouldn't work for that company.
Because you know they would have like the repair procedures that Apple does. Like replace entire car.
Yes.
Your job would be pretty much to reprogram people's key cards when they had something go wrong with it.
That's all they do.
Okay, time for me to grab another one. Sonny, I trust you. I shouldn't, but I trust you. You fuck. They do, but I'm not going to jinx it. Paul Daniels. So the guy who super chatted before asking about his status on his machine, you are most likely fucked, unfortunately. It seems like yours does not even want to go, is not even stuck in DFU mode. All the corrosion, there was a bunch of corrosion along the bottom and a nasty part. It's all been fixed, and it's not even, the T2 chip is not even turning on that computer. So unfortunately, you are probably screwed, sir. I'm sorry. What's next? No power board repair. Oh, that's a lovely one. No power board repair, E16. No power board repair. I like that. E16. I don't know jack shit about telescopes. Everybody keeps asking me about telescopes. I don't know. I've never even looked into a telescope. I don't know how a telescope works. I don't know. Go ask NASA. Go ask someone who works at NASA or something. I don't know jack shit about telescopes. Do you want me to keep the door open to keep the COVID out, Kevin? Would you rather be cold or croned? Did you already get cron?
Not that I know of.
Did you get Delta?
No.
Original?
No.
So you're fucking immune then.
I'm built different, I don't tell you. I came here to work with Danny earlier today.
Did you see what the New South Wales health minister said? I'm like, everyone who deals with people is going to get it. Everybody. I'm kind of wondering if once everybody gets this one, is it finally going to be over? Because like everybody will be immune or
Fingers crossed, I fucking hope so.
immune or else, or the other option.
Still funny about that one guy who brought in with liquid damage.
Yeah, for the recall.
Can't win. Can't win. Really can't. Are you sure it's not the battery?
Yeah.
You could take a look and see. Wait, I never grabbed the machine I was supposed to grab. God damn it.
What do you mean you instructed?
6 feet, Sonny. Don't you... Sonny, if you give somebody COVID, I'm going to fuck you up. say? It says E16 and it's not an E16. Yo. Maybe it's in... No. I also forgot the guy's name since I walked out of the room. Okay. Placed in E16. Quentin. Standard technology E16. Standard technology E16. I don't want this one.
What is that? Probably trade you. What's wrong with it? Okay.
Underfilled CD3215 failure.
Yeah.
Would you ultrasonic the wing on something like this before you got started?
I would inspect it really closely and then ultrasonic it.
I'm going to be tweezering away all those little passives right next to the CD3215 for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Hey everybody, how's it going? So today we're going to get started working on an A1706 820-00923 MacBook that is not turning on over here. And it seems fairly obvious why it's not turning on. If you take a look at the board itself, you don't even really need a microscope here to see that the left wing of this board just does not look very nice. Yeah, over here, just a whole pile of mess. Now, the employee that took this apart before I did made a mistake, and this is clearly why he tested positive for COVID. This is one of the quickest ways to test positive for a deadly virus, which is taking a MacBook apart improperly. So when I take these apart, because I am not a fucking monster, like some people who work here are, what I do is I make sure that the charge port stays attached to the board, because there is no way that I can test it without the charge port attached. And when the charge port is not attached and screwed into the board, it's going to constantly jump out at you, and it's really fucking annoying. So see, like again, if you, let's say you plug in the charge port like this, and like, okay, it's not going to do it now because I'm doing a video. Go fucking figure. But usually when I plug the charge port in without screwing it in, it immediately pops out constantly. As you can see, because I was trying to demonstrate it on camera, I'm literally curling the fucking board by a charge port that's not even screwed in. Go fucking figure. Usually I keep it plugged in. I like to keep it plugged in when I work on them. And I usually keep them plugged in when I take the board out of the casing. But yeah, that's such a fucking troll. That is such a troll. That always happens to me, but it doesn't happen when I go to fucking record it. Okay, so what are we going to do here? So obviously, the problem that we're having with this MacBook is that it's going to be stuck at 5 volts. It's not going at 20, and the reason for that is fairly obvious. The CD3215, which is going to control that, looks like absolute dog shit. And on this board, that area is really, really surrounded in garbage. So the first thing that I want to do before I really get involved in the rest is open up a schematic and a board view for an 820-00923. So we're going to open up a schematic and a board view for an 820-00923 over here. All right, first things first, PP3V3, G3 hot. Do we have that power rail? Well, that's a good question, right? Let's see if we can get ourselves an answer. that power rail does appear to be actually either missing or it's not at that solder point. Yeah, it's not there. Okay, so let's see if it's on another part of the board. Maybe we just got, maybe it's just not over there because of all the corrosion. No, as you can see, it is, that power rail is not there. We're not getting PP3V3 underscore G3 hot, and that's going to be a prerequisite to this, to the CD3215 working, because that's powered by that. Now, it's not shorted to ground. We do have 20 kiloohms to ground on PP3V3 underscore G3 hot, so that's not going to be the issue. I mean, the short is not the issue. The issue is that it's not actually, imagine it's not even being told to turn on. Well, one way to find out, right? So what we need to do is we need to figure out where PP3V3 underscore G3 hot is created. This is it going into a chip, not where it's created. It going into a chip, not where it's created. This is it going to a keyboard connector, not where it's created. This is it going to the SMC, not where it's created. It's going to a power supply chip. It going to something else. It going to a Hall sensor. It going to a logic gate. It going to a data line. I'm looking for the chip that creates it, and bada bing, bada boom, here we go. All right, U6903, U6903. Now this is where PP3V3 underscore G3 hot is coming out of it, which is what I am looking for. So what I want to do, first things first, is anything actually showing up into the chip? So let's check a D6902 on the other side of the board. So we're going to check a D6902. Do we get that 20 volts coming in from PPDC and G3 hot charger? I'm going to find out. Pin 2 of the diode, which is going to be over here according to the schematic in the board view. Oh, I'm in resistance mode like a dumbass. Okay, 5 volts, so that is coming in. And 5 volts is going into it. Okay, the next thing we got to do is we have to see if it's actually being told to turn on. Remember in the other one, PMEN, P3V3 G3 hot. Remember, this chip needs to be told to turn on. It's not just going to turn on and create the power rail that I want if it's not being told to. It's just like you have to flip a light switch in order for the light to turn on, and you also need to send 3.3 volts or 5 volts to your enable pin in order to get this to turn on. So let's see where that's going to be. That's going to be on pin 10 of the chip. Pin 10 of the chip is going to be the one that's on the upper left-hand corner over there. In the upper left-hand corner is really tiny and small and difficult to see, so I'm going to use a microscope for that because that's going to be really easy to miss if I'm just doing it by view. Honestly, it's really easy to miss even over here. You can barely see that. Although they did provide a probe point next to it that I actually could have seen even without the microscope. But, oh well. All right, so 5 volts. So this chip is creating 5 volts, right? 5 volts is 5 volt. No, it's not creating 5 volts. I used the wrong language there. 5 volts is going to the enable pin. So now let's see if it's doing its job in creating PP3V3 underscore G3 hot at output. R6915 is going to be right over here. So let's take a look and see what we have over there. At the output, we have 3.42. So that's really interesting. If we have 3.42 volts, then why is it that there was no 3.42 volts when I measured over... Oh, that's because there's not even a pad anymore. Yeah, this is so corroded, there's not even a pad over here anymore. Okay, that's why there's none. There's literally not even a solder pad. Yeah, there's not even a copper. Okay, so there's no copper over there. So I measured over there without using a microscope, and without the microscope, I wasn't able to tell that the copper was completely eroded away. That's crazy. Okay, then. So I'm going to start by replacing the passives that are located around the chip. Around that CD3215. This is horrible. All that shit's mostly corroded away already. Ugh. That's bad. That's really bad. Now, some of these are missing pads and missing pathways. And the first thing I want to do is I want to see if the areas that are missing pads and pathways are important. Because if it's not important, I don't really care that much. So what do we have here? UPC. Okay, this is a resistor to ground for a UART. Yeah, about that. Like I give 2 fucks about that. I could give a shit less. Pull down resistor. Get out of here. Pull down resistor. Who gives 2 fucks? All right, next up is over here. Okay, this is between PP3V3 G3 hot and SMC USBC int. Okay, that's probably important. However, I can recreate this somewhere else because that's PP3V3 G3 hot pulling up something going to the SMC. I can just grab PP3V3 underscore G3 hot from some other section of the board. No problem. So that's something I could recreate if I wanted to recreate it. I could actually probably recreate that right over here at this JTAG connector. If this JTAG connector has PP3V3 on it, I could probably recreate it right around here. Actually, no, I can't because there's no 3.3 volt. What kind of JTAG doesn't have 3.3 volts on it? Yo, these JTAGs are getting lame. Okay, so let's focus on the stuff that's going to actually keep it from working. So what do we have over here? We have... Okay, this is really crazy. It actually only lists... It pretends that there's only 2 resistors over there, not 3. So on the board itself, you can see that over here, you have 1, 2, 3. There was space for 3 components there. But when you look on Paul Daniels' board view software, it only has 1 and 2. Which is not... This is not the layout. That's weird. Either way, so this is a debug line. It's a pull-up resistor for a debug. Another pull-up for a debug. All right, well, I'm gonna blame Paul Daniels for this, but let's grab it. Luckily, I have a donor board, so I don't even care if that's inaccurate. I'm just gonna grab the stuff off of a donor, and I'll be fine. But yeah, it's kind of depressing that Paul Daniels' software tried to play me like that. Paul Daniels. Paul Daniels' software is inaccurate.
From time to time.
Nice ultrasonically clean.
Yeah, of course.
Pretty. Lovely. Hey. The cron. The cron. That is going to nothing. I gotta jumper that or something. That's literally attaching to nothing. Nothing new. That little SMC signal, I'm not sure how important that is. But I guess I'll figure it out. Okay, so that little resistor, that's oh shit. Yeah, that's an important resistor. Yeah, I can't pretend that that resistor is not important. Yeah, 10 kiloohms between PP3v3 underscore G3 hot and SMC Usbc int L. Yeah, that looks like it's important. Alright. Yeah, I can't fuck around with that. So I gotta find 3.3 volts somewhere else on this board. And I'll just run it over to a resistor that I put over there. How about that? Does that count? That'll do just fine, right? Unless... Wait a second, before I put this resistor on, just 1 second. Can I scrape away this? What is this? What is that? That looks like I could scrape away it. Oh, you couldn't see any of that because I didn't have the screen on. Sorry. Yeah, there's not even a track in there. That's just gone. That's completely gone. That's way more than just a messed up pad. Okay. Let's just avoid that. There's no hope there. Let's put the SMC resistor back on. Slide this bitch in there. We run a wire from PP3v3 underscore G3 hot up there. Just temporarily to see if this does the trick, changes anything. All right. Let's see if that SMC int being present changes anything. SMC int L being present changes nothing. We are still equally as fucked as we were before. Now to see if we get different behavior from different ports. Let's see what the other side of the board does, which has no fundamental damage. The other side of the board has... Okay, 5 volts, 10 milliamps. And it doesn't boot loop. Next. Five volts, 10 milliamps, doesn't boot loop. .42 volts is there. So none of the ports boot loop. They all have that in common. None of the ports boot loop. They all have that in common, which makes replacing one individual CD3215 seem like an exercise in futility. It's not necessarily going to be a CD3215 issue, but rather what all of the chips have in common. They all have in common that they expect SMC Usbc int L to be pulled up, but we've just addressed that, and I'll double check that in a moment to make sure that that is actually being pulled up with a 10 kilo ohm resistor. We have, this is where they're going to communicate, and let's just, and those, yeah, that resistor is in an area of the board that had no liquid damage whatsoever. The liquid damage was really just kind of stuck on the left wing of the board, not on the center section. There is a question as to whether or not this, if this burned out over here, is the CD3215 even getting 3.3 volts? But even if it wasn't, I wouldn't expect the behavior from the other chips on the board to be acting the way that they are. I wouldn't expect the other chips on the board to be behaving the way that they are. It's very strange. You know, it actually helps if you plug it in, you dumbass. Okay. What is that cap not actually PP3V3 underscore G3 hot? It is. Wait, it is. But it's on one side of the board but not the other? Holy, okay, that's kind of, okay, that's an interesting find. That's an interesting find. So, this cap over here is supposed to be PP3V3 underscore G3 hot. And I'm getting 0.01 volts on it. However, on the opposite side of the board, PP3V3 underscore G3 hot is present, because when I check over here, where PP3V3 underscore G3 hot is, I get 3.42 volts. So PP3V3 underscore G3 hot is present on one part of the board, but not present on another side of the board, which makes me think that that little area over there, that little power plane that was destroyed so ravagely, this section over here, where it was destroyed, that's actually where it connects from one side of the board to the other. So that's important. This is needed to connect PP3V3 from one side of the board to the other. So one side of the board likely does not have any PP3V3 underscore G3 hot right now. That's crazy. All right, so I'm going to get a bigger wire, and I'm actually going to attach PP3v3 underscore G3 hot from the working side of the board to the non-working side of the board. G3. I have PP3v3 G3 hot on one side of the board, but not the other.
How much?
How much do I need to go from one side of the board to the other? How much amperage does that entire circuit take? Not much, right?
Not much.
Yeah, so one side of the board has PP3v3 and the other doesn't. That's more than enough. So that area where it's like where the cap is right next to CD3215, I think that's where it attaches from one side of the board to the other.
Yeah, I'd rather find the exact little area and just gap that little area instead of running a guitar string. But
I don't know where it is.
yeah,
It's all burned through. I just want to see if this turns it on.
probably will.
Guitar string.
This looks like it's gonna be just a rabbit hole.
Yeah, I feel bad for that guy. You tried.
It's 12/2.
You put an hour into it. Over an hour, actually.
It's not. I have a DFU jumper in there. It's not contacting DFU.
Next.
Yeah.
Apologize. Send the no fix message. We're going to try something a little crazy here. We're about to get crazy with it. We're about to get crazy with it. Too much HDR. You guys are going to get high on HDR. I can't have HDR this high. I feel like I'm spoiling you with too much HDR. I gotta stop. Gotta cut that out. Okay, time for a little bit of drunkenness on HDR. So this is where the 3.3 volts is supposed to be, up there, right? And then it follows this little line down here. Which begs the question, is this 3.3 over here? And then there's a nub in there. That's 3.42. But 3.42 is not 3v3 though. Okay, that's 3.42. I'm curious if that entire thing is supposed to be PP3v3. What's this? Yeah, that's 3.42 as well. Okay, so that thingy over there. So what I need to do is I need to bridge that over to that little nub. So there's a nub inside there. You see the nub? That needs to get bridged over to that little fucking nub. But how the fuck do I get to the nub? That's the question. Usually what I do is I put a solder ball in there, and then like a solder ball that I would use for reballing, and then I use hot air to heat it up and make a pad. The problem is this chip is underfilled, so I can't really do that. Also, for all I know, I'm digging so far that may actually be ground at this point. That would suck if that's ground. I'm going to lower the temperature of the hot air so that I can blow the flux and shit away. Okay, so the first thing is I want to make sure that I'm not actually just trying to attach to what is now ground, because that would be a real waste of time. So let's see if that's ground in there. So that is actually ground inside of there. So what is this thing right next to it? Is that ground? Yeah, that's all ground. So that is actually all ground. Well then. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, plan B. Is it the same on the other side of the board though? Like on this end over here. Let's see. On the other side of the board, what do we have? Ah, fuck. It's not voltage. Yeah, the other side is also missing PP3v3. Wait, no, maybe? Or is that just underfill? Oh, that side's not missing it. Yeah, so that's missing it under here. So there's no way that we do this without that CD3215 coming out. It has to come off because you have to run a jumper under it because there's no PP3B3 over there. So there's no way to do this without ripping that CD3215 off of the board at this point. Yeah, fume extractor, get closer. See all the resistors on the side want to come up along with the chip? Nice try. This is called underfill. It took a capacitor, not a resistor with it, but same, very close. What you're looking at over there is underfill, and it is disgusting. Also, there's a hair in there that I'm trying to shoo away because it's going to smell really bad if you burn a hair. The wick is very helpful when it comes to removing that garbage. Remember, when using a Q-tip, you don't want to go back and forth so much as you just want to spin it. This way all the fibers will get absorbed onto the Q-tip. Ew, okay, replace Q-tip there, that's disgusting. Now, see that trace? The board is actually sticking up over here. Can we push you back down? Go the fuck back into place, board. So the fourth ball from the right on the bottom is going to be the PP3v3_G3 hot ball. We're going to try something real quick. Well, first off, actually, I should put that stuff back into place on the left. Macbook indeed, Mariner. So, I'm kind of curious if any voltage is actually going to that pad. I think I know the answer is no, but the one way to find out. Let's not assume anything. So there's 0 volts going over to that pad over there. On the other side, I do get 3.4. Yeah, I just measured the other side, and that shows 3.4. And on that side, 0. And the board is all bustling up over here. That's bad. I'm kind of curious what Paul thinks of this. I'm pretty sure this is a goner. What's that? There's smoke coming from your desk. What? That smells amazing. Is that nicotine or no nicotine? Nicotine. Oh, fuck off with that shit. Get that shit out of here. I have a bump and a hole.
Something to hang it from.
I mean, under the PP3v3_G3 hot pad, right under it, the thing coming to it, it has like a little mountain.
Sometimes it's normal.
I think I fucked. Because I was thinking of running a jumper underneath the underneath the CD3215 for PP3v3_G3 hot. The other thing that's strange is that I'm not getting boot looping on any of them. Every single one of them has the exact same thing. 5 volts, 10 milliamps, no boot looping. So it's not just one doing it, it's all of them doing it. Yeah, so none of this side of the board is getting PP3v3. So that cap up there is supposed to be PP3v3, and it's not. It's 0.
Where's your pump?
Right under the fourth pad from the right on the bottom of the CD3215. RAR.
Where do you say?
Oh, move. I'll show you on screen.
Oh no.
It's sticking up, and the trace that's available, the little piece of copper under there is ground. I measured it because I thought maybe I could just reattach PP3v3 because you could see where the trace for PP3v3 ends, and it got all corroded on its way to the chip. That exploded.
Why is this so soft? Oh my god.
What?
This is just a gaping hole under.
Underneath, you could see where there's the PP3v3 line that feeds it. I soldered a little bit. I tinned a little bit of it so that I could see if it still works, and it does. But the path where it meets the chip is just a little mountain.
Is this the 3v3 ball here?
No, the fourth one is not the fifth one is the LDO that the chip makes. The fourth one is the one that from the computer. PP3v3_G3. Yeah.
You don't have any short on it over here?
I didn't even check. I know that the thingy that I thought was going to be 3v3 is ground. Oh,
3v3 is ground on this side.
Well.
Probably in this hole right here.
Boo.
Yeah, this is all mushy all right here, so you have an internal board short right there.
Send 40 volts into it?
If you want.
Can you send 40 volts into it? So your power supply only goes up to 20.
Yes.
This is no fun. I thought this would just be a knock 2 caps off, scrape, solder something back on.
You took this from my cube, didn't you?
I thought worst case scenario, I don't know which queue it's in. I thought maybe worst case scenario, I have to replace an underfilled CD3215. That's bull. That new Flex board view looks nice.
It works well.
This all started because I wanted to reattach the line for SMC int Usbc int L, and then I realized it was 0, and then I saw the wire that I ran it to was also 0. When you do your carving, how do you know that you're not carving out a data line under it?
If I am, then I'm just gonna have to figure it out later. When I carve stuff out, it has to be carved out. So it doesn't matter what I'm carving out; it has to go. Build it back later.
Build back better? Nice chin, bro. You look like Sonny and Florine.
Pretty good. Have you had this one?
No. Can I have one of your chocolate balls?
No.
Where'd these come from?
Mobile Centrics.
Did it say Mobile Centrics? I mean, did this said?
No. That shipping
My God.
It'd be funny if it was like expired. You know what I'm saying?
Like the batteries. Huh. That doesn't look like fun.
Everything goes through the exact location.
Works perfectly, no dust.
No dust. I even split the dust off the fan.
Paul's busy.
What's up?
I was gonna ask if we have any 2259 battery cables.
Oh.
If they use or if the battery cables for 2259s are similar to the previous ones.
Never mind.
I think they're the same as 1706.
I'm assuming we have them.
We should.
And do you know where they're located?
Right there. Should, right about there. Did you check and see if you have 3v3 in your knob?
Which knob? Oh, under that there's 3v3, but not over there.
This has 3v3?
No, that's ground. Go under further. Under the capacitor. See, right under that cap?
This here?
Yeah, that thing is what's leading to that. That was 3v3, but it got burned away by the water.
Go ahead and tell them I'm taking the last one.
Inventory system. Change it in inventory. It has a slot number on it, doesn't it?
Yep. See that 28? It's just, we're completely out there.
I know. Tell Patrick he should have reordered it earlier. Get him a more severe variant than Omicron for that. A premium chocolate. A Dutch chocolate bar. Popcorn chocolate bar? A popcorn chocolate bar. What is it, a childproof chocolate bar?
How much was it on rent for the place that you went there? It says it's charging.
That's still connected. Okay.
Oh, so
So
so jumper that thingy all the way in there, and then it's done.
this nub here is your 3v3, and it goes directly to here, so it's cut off, and it's no longer shorted to ground. But then you also have the LDO needs to be jumped because the LDO got cut and it needs to get jumped to here.
That's like fun.
And just everything else needs to be scraped up.
This was in Dan's status, but it was at the bottom of his pile physically.
There you go, you got that little nub.
I now see why Dan had this at the bottom of the pile.
And they have just shorted it.
Would you no fix this, or would you bother like?
I would work this nub. Yeah, it's not shorted anymore. Green it all, get to this nub. That nub is connected to there good. You're not shorted to anything.
That's a very happy sounding alarm.
Say, start cleaning up, it's time to go. And you just have to, yeah, the only thing I cut through was the LDO. It doesn't look like any other data lines are in that.
God bless you, Paul.
I
Sorry.
would see it before you start, so then you could green it. You see that wing?
Green?
Yeah, green that hole first. So nothing falls into it or anything.
What would fall into the hole?
Chunk of solder.
Did you ever get that car light fixed, Sonny?
What?
The light that stays on in your car?
The recurring revenue feature? You still streaming?
Yeah, I've been streaming a black screen because I'm very, very polite to my audience. Wait a second. Did you do the hole at the top too, or was that already there?
I did not do the whole top.
Oh.
There's another hole.
Did you see that? That's sad. There's a hole at the top too. It's very weird liquid. Strange shade of green. I don't like this board. I think this board just gave me COVID. There's such a high chance of data line fuck-ups here.
My windshield wiper was like banging it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is after they replaced it. So I came, the windshield wiper flew off. I don't know if I... And then they replaced the windshield wiper, but they didn't check. So it was still swinging.
Who's Dimitri?
This is a guy at the service center in Brooklyn. Let me see. You should see his face when I showed it to him. Okay.
You said I couldn't be happier. What does that mean?
Yeah, because he buffed it out for me. But right before that, he still fucked it up. I think it's this one. So this windshield wiper flew off, but then they replaced it.
Hmm?
That looks okay.
What do you think that's for, though?
There's no trace there.
Huh.
I think it's the underfill put something off.
Oh, right here. That's my guy. So they replaced the...
What?
He replaced it without checking the windshield wiper.
What's it doing?
It's still scraping, but it flew off on the highway. So I went back to get the windshield wiper replaced. They were like, "Oh yeah, if you picked it up, we will put it back."
How do you drive if that happens on the highway and while it's raining?
You don't. You just pray for the best. Look through the other side because you have two. You see? There's a back one.
But there's no steering wheel and gas pedal on the other side.
No, you just lean your head.
That doesn't sound very safe.
That's why you have autopilot. You see?
But the autopilot relies on the camera that relies on the wiper to clean it.
The second wiper will get close to the camera.
Do you hear this?
His Tesla's gonna crash through a truck. But he's not paying for any charging ever.
Yeah.
It's a wash. Yeah.
Yeah. So what? I'm gonna drive that car to the ground. The tire popped the other day.
Really?
How'd you pop the tire?
You have to change it every like 15K, because the car is so heavy, it wears out the tire.
Can they make LT tires for it? Get like truck tires for it.
They do, but they don't last for like 20K.
Good night.
Bye bye.
LT truck tires should.
Usually a car tire lasts for about 30K, right? 30,000
Yeah.
miles. For Teslas, yeah, you have to change it around 12 to 15,
Wow.
and they're expensive. I just
But
go
the
to
load range should be equal to the vehicle. That's how you make a car. You
No.
know the car's 6,000 pounds, so you put tires on for a 6,000 pound car.
They don't make 6,000 pound tires.
Steve was surprised that mine didn't have the cheapest tire. I forget the one that it came with. Some Michelin thing, but
Yeah, you have the Michelin thing, right?
yeah.
Yeah. That's how they get you. So it lasts. They make you think it lasts no longer. But I just buy a used tire.
So then you spend 5 times the amount over the lifetime.
No, yeah, but like they last for like 70% as long, and they're like $1 the price.
My boss at the automotive shop used to do that.
Yeah.
I would buy a brand new set of tires and they'd be on my car for 8 years. He would buy used ones and he'd go through 15 sets of tires in that 8 years.
Of all the things I could see myself getting used, the tire is not it. It's like the difference between getting a used jacket and used boxers, you know?
Maybe if you popped one.
It's like the difference between getting a used jacket and used
What the?
Maybe if
That
you
was
have
creepy.
one tire and you need just one, then it makes sense buying a used one, but not if you need to replace all four.
I probably.
You replace them as soon as they pop. And see the benefit of being New York. A tire replacement shop is only like 2 miles away.
Everywhere.
And you can drive on the rim for 2 miles.
Then you gotta replace the rim.
Nah, the rims are good.
Steve has a little 12-volt air compressor in his car for pumping up his tires, so that if he gets a mild, he has just
I have a
enough.
plug kit, I have a 12-volt compressor, everything.
Yeah, me too.
I want to get one of those.
Oh yeah, if you have, and they go for also the PS5 is a lot higher than Tesla. They're like 45.
Yeah, I have mine at 45.
My truck is 60.
Oh okay. I don't know.
Did you fix your truck's air conditioning yet?
No, it's too difficult of a job.
Get a
That's gonna
fan.
take me a whole weekend. That's a whole weekend job.
I can help. I'm some sort of car mechanic too, you know. You see how I fix the car? Yeah, I put a light switch. I'm a car mechanic.
That's fucking ridiculous. I didn't even realize I had lumbar support until 2 days ago. I feel like I have an entirely new car now. Yeah, there's a third button for lumbar support.
They took it out.
Yeah, and the new one, but that was before.
You know why they like?
You're gonna have to pay per month for that soon.
No.
I wouldn't be
It's gonna
surprised.
shrink away, and you're gonna have to be a subscription service.
No, that's why I'm gonna have to attach a switch like what he put on. No, but they actually got rid of it on the passenger seat of the new ones.
Yeah.
And they also got the funniest. Did you see where they got rid of the USB-C ports?
Yeah.
They're shipping Model 3s and Ys without the USB-C ports. So like people go to plug it in and the cutout is still there, but there's no port. And the thing is, they're not telling the customer, hey, you know, you may have to come in later if you want this, or yo, do you want to wait a bit, or you want a discount? They're just not telling them and just hoping you don't notice.
Why? Because they have a shortage?
Yeah, because they're a shit company, and Elon's a fucking giant scammer. No, they were just not telling people that your car doesn't have ports in it.
The lumbar thing is even worse, because like their excuse is like, oh, people doesn't use their lumbar when they check in the system, right? But the thing with lumbar is once you set it, you don't set it again.
Yeah, you never.
So like, you don't really use it because it's on one setting.
Yeah, it's not like
Stupidest thing I've
People,
ever
oh,
heard.
people don't use it because we checking our system.
no Elon.
Steering wheel, because once you set it, you never adjust the telescopic.
Elon Musk is a giant scammer, and he has
So
a.
like, my car when I bought it, it says it comes with a full self-driving computer. Now they want me to pay.
Yeah, with 2 gigabytes of RAM, full self-driving, my cock and balls.
Look, see, before this was supposed to be free. They said that like if I want, this will be free. Now it's $5,000.
They got to make up for all the free charging that you're getting.
Okay. See, it says it comes with it. Now I have to get a hardware upgrade.
Well, they might actually give you a hardware upgrade.
No, but I have to pay for the hardware upgrade. I
$5,000.
have to pay another $1,000 for the hardware upgrade.
Oh,
But they probably will actually put in new hardware.
They will,
Yeah.
but when I bought the car, it says you already have full self-driving hardware. Now it's $1,000.
Well, the software has outpaced your old ass hardware.
But they said they had the hardware in there.
and the best is that it still is not full self-driving.
Yeah.
Still not. Yeah.
Well, you pay for full self-driving. I don't see you driving any better than my Tesla.
I saw something like GMC is now doing full self-driving. That's what they need, more manufacturers to do it, and then people will get more comfortable with it. Someday it won't make the news when a self-driving car crashes.
No, I want to give the sport to Dan. I'm actually going to drive this to his house. I want to drive.
There's an extra soldering iron space so you can do that.
Yeah, I want to drive this board to Dan's house. Fuck this. All right. Time to get out of here. We're calling it quits for the evening. This is sad. This is depressing. See y'all later. This is rage quit time. Rage quit. Bye.